Well, you guys have a quiz today, so I thought I'd make a little video and explaining what was going to be on the quiz. I know you guys have seen this before. It's been online for the last few days, since Monday anyway, uh, and I just thought I'd run through some things. This statistical exploration, the first part of the chapter here, you guys did a real good job of calculating percentages and averages and making dot plots, and you've been doing that since probably Math 7 or probably even before that. That part you guys have done a great job on, but I did want to take just a minute to go through the statistical exploration um, and the steps to a simulation, like question E7. So if you could open your books to page 17, question E7. So the beginning part of really all of these questions, they already did for you on E7, and that was to kind of make that observation, to do your exploration that we've done before. And that simply would be requiring you to go through and say they laid off a 55-year-old, a 55-year-old, three 55-year-olds, and a 64-year-old. And that gives you an average of 57.25. So they kind of did the observation or the exploration piece of that for you already. Letter A says, describe how to simulate the chance of getting an average of 57.25 or more. So that's what the steps to a simulation are, and you guys need to have these memorized. They're very exactly similar to what we did on the activity with the bowl and drawing ages out of a bowl. So we're going to explain how we're going to do our random simulation. We pick in 4 out of a group of 10. You're going to get those 4 ages and average them. You're going to take that average and plot it on a dot plot. And this question says repeat it 10 times. So that's the description for E7A. How are you going to randomly select them? What are you going to do with the 4 ages when you get them? You're going to average them and plot them and repeat it several times. Now, this is very, very important that you guys know that this random piece, when you get to the end, it's going to ask you whether or not this was random chance or did you get an average of 57.25 for some other reason. And if you didn't start out with a random selection, well, how are you going to be able to tell if it was a random selection at the end? Letter B says repeat your simulation a total of 10 times and make a dot plot. So here we go. That was what the Inspire was for. So in column A, we typed in our 10 ages, right on down the line, 25, 33, got all 10 of them in there. And in column B, I guess we called column A bowl when we did it the last time, and we called column B sample, but this is what I had saved from previous years, so this is what we're going to run with. So what we did, went through and on the random sample, we have this equation typed in, and if you need help getting that typed in, you're going to have to do this on your test. So get this copied down onto your Inspire. I made sure fourth block had this stuff saved on the Inspire, so hopefully it's there. And if not, then you're going to have to copy it off of this video right here, right now. So take a few seconds and see if you can't find this. It was called sampling distribution. You're going to have to go under My Document and Sampling Distribution and double-click on that. Well, here we go. We're going to have this thing pick a random sample from our sample space, which we call our bowl. The question said we're going to lay off 4 workers. And if you remember correctly, the 1 means that we were not going to have repeats. We're not going to fire the same person twice. So here we go. I hit enter on that, and it gives me, I hit enter twice on that. There we go. And it gives me 4 random ages. Then over here, I had this thing find the mean of those ages. There, I see that had a typo on it. So I had a mean of the ages. So my first 4 samples are in column B, and my mean or my average of those 4 ages is here in column C. So what I do, I take that 38.25, I come over here to a dot plot, and I put a dot over here at 38.25. I go back to my calculator, go back to the gray bar here where I have the equation, hit enter twice, gives me a new average of 48. I go to my dot plot, and I come here and I put a dot at 48. And I just repeat that 10 times. Then my next dot is 43.25. Come over here, plot 43.25 is one of these dots. So question E7 says repeat your simulation, total of 10 times, and for the dot plot for the 4 hourly workers laid off in that round. So now we have to draw a conclusion. Well, remember, the thing that actually happened was that we got an average age of 57.25. So if I come over here, I put a line at 57.25, which would be in that neighborhood right there. And we find the probability. Well, what's the probability of getting an average of 57.25 or more? Well, look it up here. Do you see any dots? Not a 1 for my simulation. Yours might be different. So the average, the probability of getting an average of 57.25 or more is 0 out of 10. And now we have to write that canned statement. So remember, there's 3 things you need to include. First thing, you have to include what is the summary statistic. So that's the probability of getting an average age of 57.25. The next thing, you have to tell me if that's high or low. Well, 0 is pretty low. And the third thing you have to say is, based on that, does that mean that the probability is likely due to random chance or something else? So here we go. Probability is low, which means it's not supposed to happen. So when it does happen, then it's not likely due to random chance. We would like to add another little statement after here that says, sue the buggers, but we can't. As statisticians, all we can say is it random chance? Excuse me. Is it likely random chance or not likely due to random chance? And then the reader needs to infer and say, well, if it's not random chance, it's not likely due to random chance, then what is it likely due to? And that's for the attorneys to fight out. So the whole second page of the test is just like question E7 there, where you went through and you made an observation. And we said here was the average that we came up with. You have to go through and describe how you're going to do your simulation. You need to carry that simulation out. So make sure you have this ready to go on your Inspire before you start. You're going to have to plot those averages as you kind of pick them randomly with the Inspire. Calculate the probability, and then write this canned statement.